listening to Diehard Sports, your source for all things sports. In-depth debates.
Ortiz drives it to right field. Nelson Cruz going back, going to be over his head, and it is gone! Into the bullpen. A 3-run home run for Big Papi. The Red Sox win in spectacular fashion.
Hard-hitting analysis.
Trying to get open, fires away. Bang! It's over! The Bulls win at the buzzer!
Only on 91.3 WXPL. Now, here are your hosts, Dylan Carter and Ryan Moore.
What is up, Fitchburg? Coming at you on another Friday night.
What's up?
We got a jam-packed episode today. Obviously, we're later on in this episode, we're going to get into the D'Angelo Russell saga going on. Yeah. We obviously, everyone's talking about it. We got to talk about it, so we'll definitely get to that. First, we're going to talk about, let's bring it to the NFL. Will Manziel ever learn?
I mean, I've had this question with myself, a long time. I mean, it seems like every time I turn on TV, his name is somewhere with a negative vibe next to it, and I said it before. I don't think he will ever play another down in the NFL. I mean, his domestic violence. Granted, all domestic violence is bad, but his domestic violence obviously hasn't reached the level of a Greg Hardy or a Ray Rice. But it's more than that. It's just he just can't get it. He had numerous chances to get his act together. He just wasn't listening. And when you have a problem that bad, it's hard to listen to other people. It's hard to try to seek help and seek advice because he's been living that way for so long. In college, he was doing the same thing. It's just that no one cared because he was still producing on the football field. It's different than the NFL. NFL, if you don't act right, you're not going to play. Plain and simple. It's not talent doesn't overhaul your personality in the NFL. So, which is really why he was a sinkhole from the start. And I don't see any future. And I think Johnny Football's days are just college glory. At least he made it in the NFL. He played a couple of games. But I don't see his future ever coming back.
Johnny Manziel, if you are listening to me right now, please grow up. He really needs to grow up. It has nothing to do with all that.
Whoa.
You have just been released.
All right.
You have just been released from a team. You are a free agent with a whole lot of mess attached to your name. And so, what do you go ahead and do this weekend? He goes out and parties again, does everything that is the reason why he got released. And it just doesn't make any sense. You are a free agent. You are supposed to be sitting there trying to make a name for yourself, a good name, and clearing this up. Go to rehab, do whatever you have to do, and start growing up and actually, understanding that what you're doing right now is costing you.
That right there just shows me that he knows he's at a point of no return. And which I think, like I said, he's now never play another down. And him going out partying like that is telling me and telling everybody else, I'm done playing football. I mean, that's the clear-cut answer. Basically, if he's still doing the same action, he's clearly not trying to get better. He's clearly not trying to better himself. He's clearly not trying to make the next step back into recovery. It's hard for some people when they fall into that type of hole. Look at Ricky Williams. He couldn't stay off the weed. And he had multiple opportunities to get back, and then he just fell off and just didn't want to do it. So I mean, it comes down to personal will and how much do you love this game enough where you're gonna get your act together and you're gonna come back and you're gonna play the game you love. I mean, to me, he was never a player that was in love with the game. He was in love with the fame, and you see how the fame tore him down, and you see how the fame overcomes everything else, and when you hit rock bottom, all that fame doesn't matter anymore. 'Cause everybody leaves you. So he part of it he did to himself. Part of it, he had influences around him. But no, Johnny, good luck to you in the future, bro. But yeah, I don't think we're ever gonna see that dude on the field again.
Yeah, I'm with you on this one. I don't think we're ever gonna see him again, and I think he's okay with it based on what he's doing. It just seems to me like he wants to play football, but he doesn't want to have to work for it. He doesn't want to have to change his ways. He just wants it handed to him and whatever. No, you have to work harder to become a better player on the field first because your stats were horrendous. And you have to work yourself off the field because you can't be showing up drunk to practice. You can't be showing up in all these different videos doing all this different type of stuff you're not supposed to be doing. And completely ignoring your coach's advice. It's ridiculous. And now that you're a free agent, even if you just didn't want to be on the Browns, and that could have been the case, but he's proven to me that it's not, and that it's just his attitude. He's not changing. And as a free agent, you need to be clean cut and working, showing a team that you're ready to be back.
And it's kind of like it's kind of just the different environments that college is from the NFL. As in college, if you're the starting quarterback and you're a freshman, you're a sophomore, basically you have that job for the next 2 years. All right, so the off season, you may be working out, but you're not really doing whatever you can to really solidify that slot because that slot's going to be there. He knew when he was at Texas A&M, no quarterback was going to come and take his spot. He was Johnny Football. You didn't have to work hard. It's not like the NFL where every off season you're working harder so you can get another paycheck. So you can feed your family. So you can do other things. So I mean, NFL, man, not for long league. How it goes.
All right. Well, this actually brings us perfectly into our next segment about paychecks. Is Gronk unhappy with his contract right now?
I think Gronk is unhappy with his contract, and I think he has a right to be. Patriots, they're no suckers to overpaying players. If you cost too much, they're gonna say, okay, fine, bye, walk. Unless you're obviously a Tom Brady. But which in my case, Gronk is a Tom Brady in a wide receiver category, and you need to pay that man whatever he's asking for.
Gronk's the top 3 person on that team.
He's the top 3 person. He's the top 3 receiver in the league.
And then him.
Exactly.
And you need to pay him like such.
He's gonna solidify and carry Brady just like Brady's gonna carry him, for the rest of the career. Why would you even want to picture Gronk in another uniform if you were a Patriots?
I don't want to.
Exactly. You don't want to. So whatever this man is asking for, you give him. It's not like he's asking for $100 million contract. He's just seen all these other players getting paid, and he's broken numerous records as a young tight end. And, he just wants to see his money. I understand why it's taking so long. You guys have the cap space to do it. It's just obviously you want to get the specifics out. But no, I don't blame him at all for being mad. I would be mad too.
I think the Pats want him to play out the contract. I think he's okay on the Pats right now. I think he definitely expects an upgrade.
Yeah.
And he deserves it.
Yeah, of course.
He's worked hard for it. And as far as I'm concerned, I don't see a reason not to give it to him because again, I think he's the 3rd most important person on that team besides Brady and Belichick. And I think that he needs to be paid like such. And since Brady is taking pay cuts every year and is getting paid I think it's 20-something in the league for quarterbacks. You can afford to pay this man.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, but you can. And we're overpaying other people as it is. You can pay this man, cut some loose ends, and you could do it. And I don't want to see Gronk in another uniform.
No, I wouldn't mind it personally. Obviously, I wouldn't mind it personally, but no, I definitely wouldn't. If I was a Patriots fan, wouldn't want to see him in another uniform. And he deserves every penny. There's literally no argument that the Patriots can counter with his agent about him not getting all he wants. That negotiation talk should be very quick and simple. Boom, here's a contract. Oh, not that amount we want to ask for, take it back. We'll wait. It should be like that. There really shouldn't be no bitter and back and forth.
I think he needs. I don't think he could go as high as he wants. He needs to get paid, but at the same time, I think Gronk knows that he wants to win more rings.
Yeah, obviously, but I don't think Gronk's that type of stingy dude. He's not gonna ask for no crazy amount. He's gonna ask for like a max deal, but he's not gonna overstretch it. He's not gonna ask for no Ndamukong Suh contract.
Yeah.
He's not gonna do anything of that. But we can see where it goes. But I do think he's a little bit irritated. Not unhappy with the situation, but definitely a little bit irritated.
Yeah, you could just see it, and I mean, especially when they're asking his agent about it, and they're saying no comment and stuff. Every time you say no comment, there's a problem there. If you were happy, you'd be like, nah, we're happy. But clearly that's not the case in New England. We'll move on to RG3. He went to Cleveland now. Can RG3 revive his career in Cleveland?
I think he can revive his career in Cleveland. I just don't think he will revive his career in Cleveland. I don't understand. To me, they don't have enough talent for him to really be put in a position to revive his career. Because first of all, who is he going to throw the ball to?
I have no idea.
Exactly. All right. They got like the left side of the line is good, but the right side's not. Okay. Who's their back? I don't even know who the running back is.
I have no idea.
No idea, right?
I have no idea almost anyone on that
exactly.
team.
Okay. All right. Pretty much their whole defense is Joe Hayden. So I mean, like I just don't see Hugh Jackson's plan. Obviously you could be wrong. You still got the draft coming up. Which I still think they're going to draft Carson Wentz. I still think they're gonna get a QB. To come in. They got to put some. They have a backup plan for RG3. He can go down. Say he gets a starting job. He can go down week 2. And they'll be stuck with McCown or somebody. I don't know who, but I don't see where he sees himself succeeding in that offense, especially just with the lack of talent. Maybe he hopes to ride out with them for a couple of years so they can build up talent. Hopefully he could be the man like that. But when you're a player like RG3, you don't have time for that. All right, you need to get into a situation where you have enough talent where you can showcase that you still have talent, you still can bleed in this league. You don't have time to rebuild with a team.
I think RG3 will be the starter this year. I don't know if they're going to draft a quarterback just because something tells me in my mind that was something that was discussed during contract negotiations. Mm-hmm. I mean, why would he want to enter another situation where he's fighting for a second-place job? I don't think that. I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like there was something in that contract negotiation that said, RG3, you're going to be the starter. Now, again, we have no idea who's in Cleveland, which is a terrible thing. But I think it won't revive his career. I think he should have went somewhere else who has decent wide receivers. Might not have been a great team, but decent wide receivers, so you could at least boost your own stats and show people what you got. But he's got no one to throw to, not a good line. And, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, Cleveland's where QBs go to die.
Exactly. And the thing is, I wouldn't be mad at him if he decided to take a year off, work out through the whole NFL season, get stronger, get faster, get his mechanics up, and then come back after you sat back and see which team actually really, really needs a quarterback. Teams get more desperate year by year. And I would, especially in this quarterback market, we still with the Jets with no quarterback, still the Broncos no quarterback. Calvin Cap is still in limbo. So I mean, I definitely would have waited a year, and then see what the options was. I didn't think it was a really need to rush him back, and it seemed like he just took the default job and just went with Cleveland, and I don't think he's truly sold there. I think he's forcing himself to be sold there because now he has the pressure on him. And right when he steps into day one, right when he steps into that locker room, the pressure's on him. The Cleveland fans, there's no waiting game in Cleveland. They've been waiting for since the league started. Hey, good luck to him, but I don't see this working out for him.
Yeah, I mean, and that goes back to our point again. Cleveland is a quarterback graveyard. So as a QB, my only guess is either A, they're the only team that offered him a starting job, or B, he just didn't get any offers at all from any other teams, and that's where he had to go. So, I mean, I definitely don't think Cleveland was his first pick. But we'll see what happens. I don't think this is going to be a good year for him. We'll move on to best teams in each conference for the NFL. So who you got for the AFC?
AFC East, obviously the Miami Dolphins are the best team. So, yeah. Obviously. No, okay. Patriots.
I'm talking about the whole AFC.
Oh, the whole AFC?
Yeah, I'm talking about conference.
Oh, conference. Oh, whole AFC. Well, obviously, Broncos, Super Bowl champions by default. They have to be. They won, period. So obviously the Broncos. Runner-up, obviously, be the Patriots. Sadly to say, but you know what I mean? Hey, anything can change this year. Hopefully the Colts can snap back and do something. Hopefully the Dolphins can snap back and do something. But, yeah, Broncos for the AFC.
I got the Pats, and that's just not as a Pat fan talking. I mean,
it's a little biased.
No, my opinion, they lost a great defensive player. They lost a few linemen. And obviously, they don't have Peyton Manning, which Peyton Manning wasn't playing that well, but they don't have Brock Osweiler either.
You're going off off-season moves.
Mark Sanchez is going to be a hard one.
Yeah, you're going off off-season moves, but, regardless, it's still them because they are the defending champions. It's like saying who's the best team in the NFL. It's the Broncos because they have the ring, period.
I don't think so. I think a team could fall apart. And I think a team could get it into there.
Well, not going into the season, they're not going to be rated that high, but literally they're still going to be the champs. So by default,
they're still going to be the champs.
Because you know darn well, right? If y'all would have won last year, right, and you had the losses like the Broncos lost, obviously not the quarterback position, but if you had the losses the Broncos lost, and you had to make that decision, you're still going to put the Pats first. Just because you won.
I don't think
yes,
so.
Yes, you will. Shoo, you liar right now.
I do it.
Oh, you liar right now.
I do it based off of what a team's doing in the offseason compared to what they had. And, I mean, for me, the Broncos defense, as good as it was pulling that offense by a string.
Of course.
And they almost couldn't get it done because of how bad that offense was playing. So, for me, the fact that the offense, not only the defense, but the offense got worse, it's going to be harder for them to carry that offense. And they lost some key defensive players, which is going to make it harder and harder for that defense to pull that really bad offense.
Yes, but they still got the core of the defensive players. I mean, defense is.
I'm not saying they're going to be terrible. I have them in second, honestly, though, and. I'm not saying that as a Pats fan because in the NFC you're gonna hear the same thing from me.
Yeah, well, y'all ain't going to the Super Bowl this year anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Doesn't even matter.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, let's go. Let's go to NFC.
Right. Who you got for NFC?
You go first. I'm still thinking.
NFC. The NFC's a tough one for me. I can't see the Panthers as being the favorite again. I can't. And maybe I'm being disrespectful to them.
Yeah, a little bit.
I'm still not all that convinced. I'm sorry. I'm not. And, I mean, it has nothing to do with just that Super Bowl. I just never been fully convinced. Second, I'll give them second all day. And possibly fighting for first.
So who's your first?
I have no idea. Which, I would go... I want to go Cardinals. I like the Cardinals.
Nah.
I don't know.
I'm going to put the Packers in front of the Cardinals.
Packers?
Yes, I put the Packers in front of the Cardinals. First of all, the reason they didn't go as far as they did was the wide receiver injuries, obviously. Yeah. Okay. They just signed Jared Cook, tight end that's going to open up and get Randall Cobb way more breathing room. All right. They got my man Jordy Nelson coming back, okay. That offense is going to be the same, Of course, Eddie Lacy slimmed down, lost 30 pounds. They're looking stronger again. Aaron Rodgers, that bad man, of course, can never count out Aaron. So, Packers definitely, and they're always consistent. They're always a 10 to 12 win team a year, and their consistent main part is because they have a quarterback. Carson Palmer, if he can stay healthy again this year, yes, makes the Arizona Cardinals scary, but their defense is also scary too. All right, but their offense, as we can see, it can't outplay the best defense, and we seen it when the Panthers stomped them out. So I mean, I don't know exactly the adjustments that the Cardinals need to make to get over to that hump, which starts at the quarterback position, but Carson Palmer is not doing bad enough where if you put a new body in there, they're going to go even farther. So, I mean,
Carson Palmer's doing pretty well.
Exactly. He's doing pretty well. It's just it's the offensive scheme maybe. They add a little – they do need a couple more offensive linemen. So, I mean – but they did just add Chandler Jones to the defense, which is a big help. Help. It's a huge help for their pass rush. So, I understand why you say the Cardinals, but I just have the Packers because, Green Bay has been ruling the NFC win-wise, regular season win-wise.
Oh, I think the Packers are up there, don't get me wrong. I just – the Cardinals lately, these last few seasons, have been a very good team.
And Larry's
they've just
rejuvenated.
gotten a little bit unlucky, and now they got Chandler Jones. I feel like that team's got some chemistry again. I don't know. That's who I got. All right, we'll move on to the MLB now real quick. Travis Shaw got the starting job over
Pablo.
Couple $100 million Pablo Sandoval. So, what is up with that?
I don't know, but when I saw that news break, I saw comments, and the fans were just clapping through the comment box. It's so happy. So happy. Now they said trade him, release him, get him off the team. They don't even want him on the team anymore. So, I mean, hopefully it'll work out for the best with that adjustment. I mean, you definitely get some speed back. Because you got a slimmer third baseman in there. So, I mean, hey, maybe it's a great move. Maybe it's not a good move. But, I mean, if it works out, money-wise, you're saving money because you can cut ties with Pablo and save the rest of your bank account. Or if it doesn't work, put Pablo back in there. I mean, I don't really see the worst of the worst,
Pablo doesn't care, and that's the biggest thing for me.
He's still getting paid.
He joined the team as a very good player. We were very excited to have him, and then he just let himself go. He doesn't care, and it's not just like they got fed up with him and took the starting job away from him. That's not even what happened. Mm-hmm. They literally had a competition, and Travis Shaw beat him for it, which says a lot. Because Travis Shaw is not exactly a household name. Right. So, I mean, Pablo, you need to step it up.
Pablo.
All right, let's move on to the NBA now. We got a good amount to talk about the NBA. All right, let's start with just how good is Draymond Green?
Just how good is Draymond Green? Draymond Green is, in my opinion, another player who has revitalized the power forward position. Just like, when Dirk came in the game, he revitalized the power forward position. Never really seen a 6'11" dude shooting threes, and doing step back fadeaways at people's faces. Draymond Green, he was second in the league triple doubles with 12. Russell Westbrook's first with 16. He's literally the heart and soul of the Warriors. He literally is the heart and soul of the Warriors. Obviously, Steph's the talent. Draymond Green is the roughness, that keeps everything together. I mean, watching him play is even brilliant watching him play, just the way he can deliver the ball, the way he can spread the floor by shooting threes, the way he just attracts defenders, which opens up the space for Clay and Steph. He's going to end up, if he keeps his play up, but no, he's definitely going to end up a first ballot Hall of Famer by the time it's done. I think the Warriors were very, very fortunate to snag him in a long-term deal before he really hit his peak. They obviously he still got him on a max deal with a 5-year, $85 million deal. But I mean, it seems to me he can upgrade his level upgrade his play to another level. Imagine going to a contract year playing better than he's playing now. You know what I mean? He would ask for so much, but no, Draymond Green is a one of a kind type player, and yeah, he's special, man.
Yeah, I mean, Draymond Green's playing out of his mind. I'm trying to find this stat. He was the first player to hit 1,000 points.
Oh yeah, 1,000 points,
500
500 rebounds. Was it 500 assists, 100 steals, and 100 blocks? I think it was.
First player in NBA history to do that in a season. Crazy
stats, and that's your power forward with an offense with Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson.
Yeah,
I mean it's almost unbelievable, but that just shows you just how strong, offensively they are, and they're strong defensively, but obviously not as strong as defensively as it was the 95-96 Bulls team,
which we'll get to.
In a little bit, but it's enough, where it gets everybody in that mode. If you play better defense, knowing you got Draymond Green, at your back, So I mean. It's crazy, but it's weird, man. This whole season has just been none but records, and it's just we're literally living in history.
I was just about to say that. How spoiled are we right now?
I know, right?
That this man is going as crazy as he is right now, and he's not even in the conversation right now for MVP.
Not even in the conversation.
That is scary to think what these other players are doing in the league right now too. That man with 1,000 points, 500 rebounds, 500 assists, 100 steals, and 100 blocks is not in the MVP conversation.
And that just gonna put a bigger chip on his shoulder. Obviously if Steph gets it this year, which he's most likely is, he's gonna try to get it next year. And there was literally a streak of games where he was averaging a triple-double. And he said he's going to try to be first player since, I forgot who did it, but go a whole season trying to average a triple-double, which is very possible. He's very durable. You don't ever see him with an injury or sitting out. I think he sat out like once this whole season. That was because of rest. It's just it's great. It's great. And you see when he brings his heart and soul into the game, he's a very emotional player, which sometimes, might give him a technical here and there. But other than that, he backs up his talk because he is cocky. He's cocky a little bit, but hey, he flaunts it, and he puts up the numbers to do what he has to do. No.
Yeah. I mean, he's definitely proven what he has, and, I mean, he has every right to be. He has every right to be. And honestly, as much as Steph Curry is the face of the Warriors right now, he has been the one to keep that team together right now.
He's the heart and soul.
And people are talking about him now, obviously, but he's still not getting the respect he deserves. And, I mean, that man is the reason, yes, Steph Curry's going off, but that man's the reason why the Warriors are on pace right now to beat the Bulls.
Oh, well, yeah, obviously.
I mean,
beat the Bulls record, but going into the playoffs, he's the perfect playoff player. He's the type of player that's going to give your team that confidence. It's going to give your team that juice, that toughness, that you need in playoff basketball. When other teams come and face him, he gets in people's head. He has a cagey attitude, putting up triple-double numbers. So it's very, very special to see. KG used to step on the court, and people already be mentally breaking down. He hasn't even talked trash yet. He'll talk trash and literally take your mind out the game. You'll be missing shots and everything. So it's beautiful to see, to see spawns of older generations, but just with a different twist on it. Obviously we're in a different generation of basketball, but it's beautiful to see in the way the game turned out so far.
All right, well, speaking about generations of basketball, this moves us on to our topic. Comparing the 15-16 Warriors to the 95-96 Bulls. Mm-hmm. And yes, guys, you can post in the comments, it's stupid, can they beat the 95-96 Bulls? But let's seriously compare them right now.
Well, I mean, we're in two different eras. Okay,
Yeah.
and this is the first team we really seen completely dominate our generation of basketball. So we're picking them apart. We're seeing, okay, this is the perfect team of our generation. Back when Michael, the 95-96 Bulls, they were the perfect team of their generation. They had toughness. They had the best player in the league, obviously. They had defense, and they had threes. They had Steve Kerr. And they also had Phil Jackson. So that recipe right there, beating out, getting 7-3 wins back then was a lot harder back then. Getting 73 wins, especially with the way people was playing back in the day. People were brawling back in the day. People were getting slapped in the face. No fouls called. It was a different game of basketball. Now it's more technical. It's more what you can do within a whistle. All right, but it's been perfected by Steve Kerr, and I think Steve Kerr is really a big voice into how they're playing now. Steve Kerr took what he did with the Bulls. He passed that on to the Warriors, but with his own little twist. It made it more generational basketball. Steph doing what he shooting from out of planets like he does and doing what he does. But it's not this game. This generation's game now is not heavily relied on defense. It's more offense, but enough defense. Because back in the day, it was more defense than it was offense. Even though Jordan averaged 30, Pippen averaged 15. I think it was 15 to 20. All right, but that was their two top scorers. That only had two scorers averaging more than 10. I mean, more than double digits. So here you got with the Warriors, you got Steph over double digits, Clay double digits, Draymond double digits. So it's more offensive base. But, they still need that defensive pressure, and they found it in Draymond Green. They found it in Maurice Spades coming off the bench. They found it in Andrew Bogut, So they make things work. But I don't know who would win in a team-to-team battle. I'm not going to go that far because it was two different generations. But you can definitely see the different, pros and cons in each team.
I mean, it again, going back to that generation thing, if the Warriors played back in the 90s, they would not hit 73 wins.
No.
The Bulls hit 72 back then, and that's crazy. They would not have hit 73. Right now, the Warriors in this generation are going almost certain right now to beat the 72, get 73.
I almost lost.
Probably even more than 73. Which is crazy. And, I mean, hats off to them. I don't think they could have done it in the 90s, but I think vice versa, too. I don't think the Bulls could have done that today. And, I mean, it goes back, I wouldn't even say offense and defense. It goes back to physicality for me, because you could get away with a lot more back in the day than you can right now. And that Bulls team, if they could play physical like that back in the 90s, they would tear up the Warriors. The Warriors today, with all these rule changes and stuff, and the way it's all shooting now, the Warriors would torch the Bulls. So, I mean, it really depends on what generation they're playing in. Either way, watching either one of those teams, regardless of what generation you are, it's just a pleasure watching them. You're witnessing greatness right now.
Yeah, and it's ultimately special for like our uncles and our fathers, who got a chance to watch, who's getting a chance to watch both generations, and actually seeing the comparison. Obviously I was 2 years old, 95. So I mean, I wasn't really watching basketball like I am now. So I got his tapes going back, but it's crazy, man, because the game's gonna evolve to another level in another 30 years. So I mean, and people need to accept that. People are not accepting the fact that the game is evolving. It's just like music, it changes over time. So I mean, you just gotta roll with it and then just embrace it.
Yeah, I mean, people want to keep sitting here and comparing them and saying they'll never be the Bulls. Again, it's a totally different generation. You just need to sit back and witness greatness. You're witnessing history right now, which, absolutely. I mean, you may not witness again in your lifetime.
Exactly.
So, I mean, just take it in. That goes with the same thing with LeBron, though, too, with what he's doing. Obviously, he's not – I don't think he's Michael Jordan. I don't think he's up there. But he's definitely the best player in our generation.
Oh, yeah, by far.
For sure.
By far.
And even though I don't like him because of his attitude, I still appreciate the game.
Oh, of course.
You've got to sit back and watch. You got to see what's going on right now in this decade, and you just gotta sit there and be like, wow, we're witnessing history. And it's not only been the Warriors, it's just been all these different teams, all these different players. This decade, the NBA has stepped up big.
Oh, yeah. I mean, people get scared about, a new force coming in, because LeBron came out of nowhere and he took the league by storm, and people weren't ready for it because people were still drunk off the Jordan, people were still in Kobe mode, So, I mean, when you see the next future, kings of the game come in, it's a culture shock, and you gotta get used to it. I mean, when we eventually see, like when we see the next Tim Duncan, I put him in the form of Anthony Davis, not play styles, but just greatness wise, potential wise, and you see that in Draymond Green also. When you see that come in, it's just like wow, like it makes you think like who's gonna come in and be better than them. And it's scary to see, like, who's going to be the next best shooter, who's going to be better than Steph eventually, somebody always gets one up, So, I mean, it could be 10 years from now, it could be, 50 years from now, but, it's just, that's how it happens. In order for greats to be greats, someone must, surpass somebody.
It's a passing of the torch thing, which, I mean, I've had the honor of seeing now for myself, and about to see it twice. I wasn't there I was too young to understand at the time Jordan and passing the torch on to Kobe at the time.
Yeah.
I was there, Kobe passing it on to LeBron, and I wouldn't say LeBron's passed it on yet to Steph.
No.
But I see it in the near future. I see it in the near future.
Oh, yeah, probably maybe 5 years down the road, but yeah. And LeBron has so much basketball left in him. It's ridiculous. You're forgetting how young he is.
I know he's young, but I think in a year or two, Curry's gonna have proved enough where he's a better player. He is right now, and he was last year.
And in a sense, 2
years isn't enough.
He's the better player, but not the better overall player. He's the better player in the league right now. Because he's the reigning MVP, just like, and the best team in the league technically is the Warriors because they won the championship, and obviously they are the best team in the league. But yeah, man, I mean, anything can happen. LeBron has so much basketball left in him, so much basketball, and he's still the youngest player with the most amount of points. I mean, he's gonna crack. He's gonna definitely catch up to Kareem's record. Points, and it's just it's crazy. It's crazy.
I don't think he's going away. That's not what I'm saying.
He's not passing that torch until he announces his retirement. That's when you pass the torch.
I don't know about that because
ask Kobe.
I think Kobe passed it, but after his finals, after 2009, 2010. That All-Star game,
Kobe's not passing that torch until that last game is played and he's stepping off the court, period.
He may not want to have passed it, but it had been passed down, regardless of what he wanted. And that's what happens.
In a mythical sense. But
it happens where you end up going down a little bit, and someone ends up coming up and becoming the face of the league. I'm not ready to sit here and say Steph Curry's the face of the league yet. I mean, it's been a great 2 years, but I've got to see at least 4 before I sit there and say he's the new face of the league. The torch has been passed on.
I need 5-6 years of straight dominance, which I hope he gets, which I very much hope he gets. But I need a Kobe career full of dominance. That's what I need in order to get past that torch level. But I mean. We're looking way too down to the future anyway. We got to stay in the present. We got to enjoy this moment that we're in right now.
Yeah, don't forget where we're at right now. We're in an era where a lot of history is going down right now, and it's just amazing to watch. All right, let's move on to our last topic. This topic's going to be a little bit longer, though. Donkey of the Week goes to who else? D'Angelo Russell. I'm going to let you speak on this first, since you're the Lakers fan.
Oh, my gosh. When I first saw this video, man, I saw the video before, it was really, really reported out, to the world. And I watched the video. I just shook my head, man. I just shook my head. I was so furious and what the hell this man was doing. First of all, why are you recording your boy talking about girls, knowing he has a fiance? And why are you recording your boy talking about girls as your personal business anyway? Anyway. He has ripped the trust from his teammates to the core. He was booed last night going onto the court, and I was booing through the TV too. All right, I've been seeing so many memes. I've been sharing every single meme I see of him. There was one of him with Forrest Gump scene. Walking on the bus, and when no one said you can't sit with me, you can't sit with me. And then obviously Jenny said he could sit with him, but it was really Iggy Azalea saying he could sit with him. It was really outrageous, and it's literally the lowest, dirtiest thing you could do to another teammate. All right, especially your rookie year. He has burned the bridges of potential friendships, potential, maybe some. He definitely burned some money away. Just with this stunt alone. And he thinks he's gonna come back. This is all gonna blow away, and he's gonna come back from this. He's not gonna come back from this. It may blow away, because time heals all wounds. But he would never come back. He could be 10 years down his career, and there's still gonna be teammates on his team like, I don't like that dude. I don't trust him. Just for that.
I mean, that was just immature of him. Regardless of how he feels, that's your teammate. You can't be doing that. Especially because it's not even a potential friendship. Him and Nick Young were friends.
Oh, they were great friends. They were good friends. They were really good. Borderline creeping into best friend type area, and to do something like that is literally just a stab in the back.
Yeah,
it's such a snake move. It's such a dirty low ball move. It's just it's beyond me. And then him apologizing does nothing for me. Literally does nothing for me.
When you heard Nick Young talking about it, you could see how upset he was.
Oh, of course.
That wasn't like I'm mad that he just did that. It was more of like, that was my boy.
When he went home and Iggy Azalea is just sitting there with a video of him with proof and him talking about other females. I mean, that's his fiance. Man, you're ruining his life. You ruining this man's life for something like that, and it's disgusting, and I will not be mad if the Lakers trade him for this. Get off my team. I don't even want to wear our jersey. I said it last night. Said a couple days before that. I'll say it next week. I don't want this man on our team. Period.
Again, it's just the immaturity factor, and obviously we have to bring it up. 12 years ago with Kobe snitching on Shaq. A lot of people are comparing it right now. I don't think it's that comparable.
It's not comparable.
It's comparable in a way because what Kobe did back then was immature. Right. He tried just placing the blame on someone else.
Let me tell you why it's different.
He was in an investigation for 75 minutes. That is a whole lot different than you totally opening and willingly just sabotaging not only your teammate, but what was basically your best friend at that point, which you could see how hurt Nick Young is by that just because of how good friends they were. When Kobe did that to Shaq, it was in an investigation, and they didn't like each other anyway. Ever since that report of Kobe getting slapped by him on the first summer practice, and I mean he was clearly irritated by that. I mean, why wouldn't you be? They were at odds anyway, so I mean he had no real ties to him. it's even worse now that you weren't in an investigation. You didn't have to do anything, and that's your boy.
People need to realize also, Kobe and Shaq's beef was on a whole different level. They literally had mutual hate for each other, to the point where Kobe stopped talking to people who were even associated with Shaq. If you like Shaq, Kobe wasn't talking to you, period. All right? To the point where Shaq had to literally go to another team. It's different, when it was a good friendship, and then someone just did this to just cut the friendship off, And it's not hate. It's literally, you did this to me, we're done. Kobe and Shaq was a whole different animal. They literally had hate. They had hate for each other even after they were on two separate teams. They still had beef with each other. Reporters would ask them, "Well, have you mended wounds?" With Kobe, they'd be like, "No." Shaq would next. They really didn't start getting their friendship back, and mutual respect till they got old heads. They got mature, and now they're at a good place. But before that, it was definitely not like that, and that's the whole different other side of a beef. You can never compare, Kobe and Shaq to Russell and Nick Young, D'Angelo Russell and Nick Young, beef-wise at all anyway, and we see how that came up. At least we got some championships out that beef, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
we ain't getting no championships out this beef, right? Oh, we just need that man off our team, and he can go play for the Celtics. Yeah,
what?
Well, yeah.
We don't want him on
First
the
of all,
Celtics.
no, you guys are talking about trade talks right now with him, potential trade talks. So I just want to sneak that little Easter egg in there.
I mean, we
Go
talk
play with him.
we
Go
talk
take
to
him.
everyone though.
Go take him. We'll trade
That's
you.
part of Danny Ainge's thing.
We'll trade you D'Angelo Russell and a Whopper for Isaiah Thomas.
No, we declining that in a heartbeat. I mean, I'll give you Tyler Zeller. That's about it. But we're in talks with everyone. I mean, that's Danny Ainge's thing. He just talks to everyone, tries to see value. I mean, he's gonna take whatever good deal he gets at the time. This could end up being a good deal for him. I personally don't want it because of the whole chemistry thing. We have, as the Celtics, we have very good chemistry right now, and I don't want to bring someone
Even though you
in.
lost last night against the Blazers.
Yeah, it was Jay Crowder's first
Now you're
game
6th
back.
seed in the East.
That's fine. We're a game back. The East is all over the place right now. We're a game back, so I'm not worried about it.
Sorry, you're farther than us, so I can't talk.
Jay Crowder getting injured, that's what hurt us. We would have easily had that 3rd seed, honestly. If Jay Crowder didn't go down, we would have been pretty much locked for the 3rd seed. But Jay Crowder going down, we went 4-4, had that losing streak of like 4 games at one point. I mean, and that's what ended up taking us down here. So, I mean, we were on path to hit 50 wins at one point. So
1 point.
That was before Jay Crowder got injured. We were still at pace
No,
to hit
absolutely.
50.
Absolutely. Brad Stevens picked who he wanted on the team, and he's running with it. That's all. Another thing I'll give y'all. You guys are great at finding coaches. Unlike some team I know, a.k.a. Los Angeles Lakers. But we'll trade you a D'Angelo Russell and a 3rd-round pick, even though there's only 2 rounds in the NBA draft.
What?
For Brad Stevens. That's what we'll do. We'll give you that. That's a great deal.
No.
You can keep Isaiah.
That's a great That's
a great. And you get a D'Angelo. Perfect. And a future 3rd-round pick. And a future 3rd-round pick.
We don't want Russell. I'm sorry. I mean, it's not even like Kobe when he did that. Another thing about that, Kobe when he did that, it was extremely immature. I mean, I'm sorry, it just was, and he got a lot of hate for it for a while there, and it took a while to wear off. I don't think it's going to take as long as this one is right now because of just the circumstances happening. Also, Kobe was playing out of his
I'm
mind.
about to say.
So. D'Angelo Russell, I mean, averaging 13 points.
Yeah.
You're not escaping.
I'm about to say, first of all, Kobe was a franchise player and dominating, and he embraced the evilness that was put upon him in the NBA. He turned it into the Black Mamba, and a new animal came out, and he rolled with it. He was being the bad guy. He's like, all right, I'll be the bad guy then. Shoot. And you seen the bad guy come out, So I mean, it's really two different situations and two different people. It's two different people and two different generations. Back then, people weren't videotaping and putting it on, leaking it on Twitter, and then social media wasn't getting involved. But now
that's a lot bigger of a problem. It's not even just the league.
No, if
this was even mentioned.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, and it's
social media blows up things, obviously not this case, because this was the case, this was the thing that get blown up for. But, social media blows up personal lives almost every day.
Yeah,
we see it.
And Kobe got real lucky. I mean, Kobe's lucky that social media wasn't really around back then, because it would have probably been a lot bigger than it was. Mm-hmm. But, again, I mean, that's Russell's fault for what age he's in, and he's a young guy, which brings up the whole point. Do we have that limit like the NFL does? You got to be 21. I know a lot of people are talking about lowering it to 18 because 19 is stupid. People are going to college just to
basically trying to get a championship and then out, and then they're leaving. Then they're out. But,
they don't want to go to college, and that's the exact point with I think it was Ben Simmons that he wasn't even eligible for a couple of awards because
but a lot of
his
dudes,
grades. He doesn't want to be in school. Yeah. He has to be in school because he has a year off. He's not just going to sit around. Obviously, he has to play, which is why you should make it 21. Or make it 18, but I mean the immaturity is ridiculous. He's acting like a 14-year-old right now, D'Angelo Russell.
Sure, a 14-year-old probably wouldn't dime his boy out like that. He's acting a 7. That's what he's acting 7 years old, second grade, whatever. But I mean, immaturity aside, I seen mature 19-year-olds coming to the league. Look at Anthony Davis. What trouble has he got in since he's been in the league? None. Absolutely none. He just plays basketball.
Being on the Pelicans.
He got weak bones. He got weak ankles, weak shoulders. But his head's on straight. Karl Anthony Towns, I'm maybe speaking too soon. He's still a rookie, but no problems with him coming in. It's just it's literally the person you are and the person you decide to be when you get into this league. And if some players need that 1 year, and they need that couple years in school, not even just school education wise, but development wise. Some kids declare for the draft way too early, and you literally see their career deteriorate, before they got a time to really blossom. Look at the number 1 pick 2 years ago, Anthony Bennett. He's now a free agent, sitting at home, doing nothing.
It just goes to that whole point that, I mean, some players, yeah, you want that paycheck right away, but some players, they need those 4 years of college. Mm-hmm. I mean, and that's nothing to be ashamed of. Oh, some players, you just got to develop your game a little better.
And to sympathize with them, if I'm 19 years old and people telling me, you can go in the NBA, you can get that money, all right, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go to the NBA. I'm gonna get that check. I understand. You're 19 years old. That money only comes with knocking once. But and you also take the risk of injury by staying longer in college. Which also could shorten your career very, very much. So I understand the pros and cons of both ways. But it's just. I think every kid thinks they're that rare player where they don't need college, like Kobe, like LeBron, like KG, who think they just don't need college and they can just literally come into the league and do whatever.
I think the big problem too is in today's day and age, they're taking these young players, putting them in the starting lineup, and touting them to be the next big star. And it gets to their heads. I mean, that's essentially what happened with Russell. I mean, they put him up there, and he's supposed to be the new star after Kobe retires. But, I mean, when you put that much pressure on a young player like that, it depends on the personality, obviously. But, I mean, pressure.
We seen it early. Especially in summer league. He did awful he did awful in summer league, and he also did awful in the beginning of the season. And he just came out and said I was trying to do too much out there on the floor, because he's eager, and that's what rookies are. They're eager. They're trying to make their mark quick, because people fade away, especially letting that that Kobe torch on, from the Lakers, but it's also, he didn't really have a right coach development. Byron Scott is not the. Oh my God! Please don't get me started on that man.
But
anyway, I didn't want to say his name, but I just lost my thought. That's how much I despise him. He just makes me lose what I have to say. But yeah,
trying to trade D'Angelo and Byron Scott.
Oh my gosh, man, you have no idea. Laker fans feel me. They're all clapping at me right now because they feel me. They know exactly what I'm going through right now, what we're going through. But I mean, some kids need that development in college. Some kids surpass it, and they don't. But I mean, hey, they got rid of the straight to high school rule, which I think was necessary. I think that was good. But obviously it was good that it happened before players like. I can't even fathom if Kobe went to college or if LeBron went to college. Like,
yeah,
you know what I mean? But people forget that Kendrick Perkins came straight to high school. Okay, from high school to NBA too. He's still playing, collecting them checks. You know what I mean? So I mean, hey, it's always gonna get different. These kids. I'm saying these kids like I'm old. I'm only 21. These young guys who come in, they play different. They play different. That talent really isn't. When we see the talent, we'll know. We really would know. Like Buddy Hield, who should have won Offensive Player of the Year, but they gave it to Valentine, which was jacked. They should never did that. But I think he's gonna be a great scorer in the NBA. He developed very, very nicely in college. Hopefully he can turn on to the NBA. But it's all we'll see right now.
All I have to say to end the show is D'Angelo Russell. Congratulations on winning the Donkey of the Week award. Well deserved,
and for
man.
every other week after that.
Well deserved. All right, we'll catch you guys next Friday at 7. This episode will be on SoundCloud and uploaded to our social media sites as soon as possible. Probably tonight or at latest by tomorrow morning.
Yep, check us out on Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud. Introduce a Snapchat next week, so be on the lookout for that also.
Yeah, Diehard Sports MA, that's our tag for everything on social media, so check us out on there.
And go see that Batman, man. That movie's dope. Saw it today. It was dope. Go see that.
All right, Fitchburg, have a good one.
1, 2, 3. Thank you for listening to another edition of Diehard Sports. With your hosts, Dylan Carter and Ryan Moore. Tune in every Friday at 7 p.m. and check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/DieHardSportsMA.